On today's show, we'll look at the super shellfish, the New Zealand green-lip mussel, and why it's so important to our fisheries, our fish, and our whole ecosystem. Trevally are definitely shellfish eaters. We'll take you on a journey from gathering shellfish to fishing around shellfish banks to the latest in efforts to regenerate our once massive shellfish stocks.
Pretty much all of the mussels from the seafloor have now disappeared.
As fishermen, we realise how important mussels are to fish. We use them for our bait, we use them for our burley. We also fish in areas where there's an abundance of mussels because we know the fish are going to be there. Today we're fishing at quite a special spot, and it's actually quite a well-known spot. We're actually fishing back onto the Mere Bank at the entrance to Whangarei Harbour. Now what makes it special is the Mere Bank is a really prolific shellfish bank with especially green-lip mussels. But since 2018 the bank's been closed for taking of shellfish. It has a rahui on it, which means it's protected, don't take anything. Okay, but the good thing is there's still fish here. But today's show we're going to talk about mussels and how important they are to our New Zealand fishery. So let's see if we can catch some fish on Mere Bank, and then we'll have a bit of a chat about mussels. I'm a big fan of burley with mussels in it. I think it really attracts the fish. Plus the added weight of some mussel shell helps the burley sink better. Also, certain species of fish are only interested in shellfish, not fish bait. The mussels used in commercial burley are from the mussel farm, so I'm pretty happy using this product. Oh yeah! Well, bit of a bite in a hurry there. I was getting bites on the rod in close, and this one was getting some bites. And the only trouble is, which one do you grab? I think this might be a snapper. Kind of interesting spots like this, very shallow water. Normally, and it's very clear today too, you'd fish like first thing in the morning or as the light changes at night. But we're fishing middle of the day basically, because that's what the tide denotes, and still getting the fish. We've been quite subtle with our approach. Yeah, another nice panny. Whoops. So yeah, the subtle approach is working. Keeping our leader fairly light, fishing 30-pound leader, fairly small sinkers and hooks, and getting plenty of bites. With an incoming tide, we elected to anchor up current and fish our baits back towards the structure. Using fairly small baits here, just lobbing them back towards the structure we're fishing. So I've got an X-Factor rod here with an Okuma bait feeder reel. The nice thing there is I just put it into bait feeder. When the snapper picks it up, runs with it, that's what it does. And then you just whack it, throw it into gear and hook it. That's what I did with that first one. I also use these Scotty Orca rod holders where you can lock your rod in, and when you get a strike you just pull it up like that and it frees it up, but it won't take it when you bend it down. So pretty handy. Sets it out from the boat too, a bit like an outrigger. I reckon this is going to go quickly, this one. Straight away. That didn't take long. Come on, there you go. Yep, feels good too. Decent fish, whatever this is. Now I've got the worry of going between the pylons. Oh no, I hate pylons. I'm fishing mono too, so I don't have a lot of abrasion resistance. And those rocks are covered in oysters. Come on, come back. Well, that was, I just cast that out as you saw, and oh, this isn't feeling good. Come out, come out. Oh, yeah, I might have got him out. Yep, got him past the pylon, I think. I don't know what we've got here, but it's quite decent. Got it past the other rods. When you're trying to get a hard fighting fish away from some structure, try varying your rod angle. Now I'll try and walk him up the boat a bit. Eden was saying, oh, that's a fairly stiff rod you're fishing with, Adam. And I have to agree to him that they're a very powerful rod. But when you're serious stray lining, you need that backbone, because if you hook a decent fish, you've got to be able to lift them. And one thing I'm a definite fan of is using monofilament line when I'm stray lining. I just like that little bit of stretch it gives. Trevally or something. Yeah, nice. Nice trevally. Wow, look at that. Yeah. That's a quality trevally. Wow. Put him on the gunnels here. Look at that. So trevally are definitely shellfish eaters, and that's why they hang around areas like this. Don't have to use shellfish for bait necessarily, we've got shellfish burley, but yep, quality fish, nice little spot at the entrance of the harbour, fishing over the mussel banks. I can already taste the sashimi. As the current got stronger, the burley really started to take effect. Very next bait, another solid fish. I'm picking another trevally. I got onto him a bit harder this time because that first one I was really worried he was going to get me on the pylon. Man, they've got some power. They fight so hard, they just never give up. New Zealand silver trevally can grow up to about 12 kilos, but specimens over 6 kilos are considered large. There we go. They obviously like shellfish baits like tuatuas and mussels. They'll also take soft baits and small silver jigs. I reckon that might be slightly bigger than the first one. Awesome. Snapper, 2 trevally. Just need to get Eden onto a good one now and we'll be laughing. Coming up.
So we're looking to restore greenlet mussels all around the whole of New Zealand.
It would be like a daily outing to go and grab a feed of kutai. And I'm on.
As the burley did its job, the sometimes shy trevally got bolder and bolder.
We were talking about mussels before and what it means to us. I have fond memories over Christmas walking along the beach over the rocks with my father and grandfather, and it would be like a daily outing to go and grab a feed of kutai for the table over Christmas, and it was you know, such a great memory to hold on to. And all derived by, and I'm on, sorry, and all derived by mussels, you know, and the gathering sense, and it's definitely something that's lasted long in my memory banks that I want to pass on to my children.
Oh, it's giving it a bit of go.
Yeah, it is. Oh. There's a snapper following this trevally up.
Oh, wow.
There's 2 small snapper off it. Keep away from that burley rope. We've only just managed to get that one in. We were talking about how rubbery and soft their lips are, and much more heat on this, I don't think we would have got it boat side.
So the spot we're fishing today, as you can see, has got all the elements that make a good fishing spot. You've got good clean water, you've got a really good food source, all the shellfish and invertebrates and stuff floating around, and you've got a bit of structure and current. And when you're looking for a fishing spot, that's what you look for. Now, the thing about mussels, yeah, they're a food source for fish, But mussel banks and mussel beds and mussels around rocks, also they serve as homes for a lot of these smaller crustaceans, little crabs, barnacles, little shrimps. And when you get a bit of a storm, these will get broken up and the mussels get broken up, and then the fish come and feed on them. So they're really an integral part of our reef system. So it's not just the rocks. If you just had rocks with nothing on it, you'd probably have very little around it. But you get a rock with a few mussels and a bit of weed, and it's just alive, even just in a small area. So they're so important to our fishery. With a good feed of fish in the bin, I called last baits.
Nice Whangarei Harbour snapper.
Well, I just fed a pulley cube down the Burley Trail on the bait caster. And the bite's been pretty good for the last sort of half an hour. The fish have really come on. And it got nailed straight away, didn't even get to the bottom. The bait caster's a bit lighter tackle. You know, we've caught a couple of good fish, so scale down, have a bit more fun. Oh, another one underneath them too. Most of the time we're seeing fish when we're coming up with ones on hooks and other fish following them. There they are, just there. See a couple underneath them. I'll just let this one go though. There we go. Pull the hook out, away you go. A few days after my trip to Mere Bank, I travelled back to Auckland to catch up with some scientists doing some groundbreaking work.
I'm Dr. Jenny Hillman from the University of Auckland. So I'm a lecturer in the University of Auckland at the Institute of Marine Science, and I'm also the science lead for Revive Our Gulf. We're looking to restore green-lit mussels all around the whole of New Zealand because they used to be really widespread. Our two main sites are here in the Hauraki Gulf, and we're also working down in Pelorus Sound and the Marlborough Sounds where they used to be widespread as well. We're trying to bring back this really important engineer species, we call them. So they're really important for multiple benefits that they give to humans. So if we can bring them back, we then get lots of other things come back as well. So lots of other fish come back that live on the mussel beds. Lots of nursery fish, for example, they like to come here and live there when they're really small. We also get lots of other benefits. We found that they can reduce the harmful nitrogen from the water, which is really important. Back in the early 20th century, there was green-lit mussels carpeting the seafloor throughout the Hauraki Gulf. We think about 500 to 1,500 kilometres squared. We don't know exactly because we're getting all of this information from the fishing industry. And then in the 1950s to 60s, dredging really ramped up and they dredged the whole area throughout the Hauraki Gulf. And then they moved down to the Marlborough Sounds and they dredged Pelorus Sound as well and took out pretty much all of the mussels from the seafloor have now disappeared. And dredging also changes the seafloor itself, so it takes out lots of habitat, it takes out not just the animals, but it takes out all of the habitat as well and really changes what's down there. So it makes it much siltier, much finer sediment that can then be resuspended much quicker. So it makes a really big difference. So now the Gulf has a few remnant populations left, but really not many like it used to have. So we partner with the mussel industry, and what they do is they give us these whole-grown mussels that they've grown on the line. So they're adult mussels by the time they get to us. They're about 2 years old. We then put them down on the shell hash and then some down on the mud. And so what we're doing there is trying to compare whether the mussels grow better over the long term on the shell hash or on the mud. At some of the other sites we've done, instead of using shell hash, we just use a whole range of different sites. So from inner, really muddy sites to these further outer sites which are a bit sandier, we put these whole shell mussels again from the industry down on these different sites, and then we compare them to see which ones are going to be better in the long term for restoration.
Hey guys, Nick from Akuma here. We're really excited to announce that Akuma is now a Gulf Guardian. So what this means is we're supporting the Mussel Regeneration Project. So every Akuma purchase you make donates mussels back into the ocean. They may ask, why mussels? Mussels are really important for us. Our goal is to donate over 100 tonne of mussels back into the ocean. And the reason we're doing this is mussels not only clean our ocean, but they create a food source and a habitat. So we want to make sure that fishing is accessible to every Kiwi, especially in our inshore fishery, from the rocks, the wharf, the beach. And you can only do that if you have a thriving ecosystem, and mussels really help to do that. So the other part to this is sustainable fishing methods. All this work is going to be undone if we keep doing the likes of dredging or unsustainable fishing methods. So we need to make sure that we're doing our part too and keeping our ocean floor in the best state possible.
And that's why we want mussels in the Hauraki Gulf, so we can catch fish like this on a regular basis. Coming up, Darren heads out to gather a few mussels and have a boil up on the back of the boat.
carwide chasing these schools of pilchards. Look at these.
Treasure. Cheers, mate.
Thank you. As I get older, I find myself wanting more than just chasing trophy fish. It doesn't have to be about heading over the horizon to a far-flung spot. Good mates, a nice day and some quality seafood to boot is hard to put a price on. Sometimes what's close and easy is so much more satisfying. Today's show, we're in the Auckland's Hauraki Gulf. We're really close to Auckland. I thought you'd bring you into some dirty water diving. So for that, I'm going to use a little Ready Viper 80cm gun. It's a carbon gun with a reel, obviously. And for the real close quarter stuff in the dirty water, you've got to have a smaller gun. You lose a bit of range, but it's quite good when you're holding back in dirty water, coming up to a burley or into a gut or something like that. Shorter gun's better. The other thing we're going to get is a feed of mussels, feed of kinners. Once I entered the water, I realised it was much clearer than I'd predicted. A good 6 to 7 metres viz meant I needed to change out to my Wedi Carbon 110cm gun. The clearer water means longer shots. I had a feeling this dive was going to be a good one. Gannets were also working bait balls close by. Bigger and faster fish could show up. Pilchards are a favourite of most pelagic fish we hunt. Immediately the carwai were there. While many fishermen use these for bait, I like to eat them. A few of these guys would go down very nicely. You have to be careful with them on the spear. They're very soft flesh and they fight hard and get off. My buddy for the day was Cam, a good up-and-coming spearo and a good East Coast Bays rugby player. After taking the guts out, you can see the whole big pilchard inside of it. The guts will double as burley with these pilchards inside them. The best way to shoot these in this situation is get down on the bottom, lay still and wait for them to swim in front of your gun. Tracking them is much harder when they move this fast. I was slow on the trigger here. As you can see, I missed the first one, but I spine shoot the one behind it. It's come off the spear, so I'm swimming after it to see if I can catch it by hand. I've done this with other fish over the years. The biggest I've caught in my hands after it's got off a spear was a 32 kilo kingfish. I'm successful in catching this one. We never want to leave injured fish in the water. There was no time to reload and have another shot at this. I was best to do what I've just done. I've just ickied this carwai and you can see the pilchard coming out of its mouth. These guys are just in a feeding frenzy on these things. Early summer is jellyfish time. This guy is a monster. He's beautiful, but those tentacles are very painful if you get a sting. These carwai are chasing these schools of pilchards. Look at these. They're just full of them. The guts are just chocker. I mean, when you look how much it can eat for a small fish, the pilchard's nearly half the size of the carwai. They have 2 or 3 of these in their guts. They're just roaring around going like mad with the snapper underneath them. Quite cool to see. Mussel time. So Cam here's going to get some mussels for us for lunch. There's a few to take home. There's often lots on these rocks, but you don't need to strip the rocks bare. It's good to leave some. Nice and shallow, and it's the middle of the day, so it's the best time to go after mussels because it's the hardest spearfishing time. Sun's high in the sky, tide's nearly low, it's the worst time to go spearfishing. Mussels are up there with my favourite food. A lot of the area we dive in the outer Gulf don't have any mussels. That's what makes inner Gulf diving so much more special. Make sure you've got good gloves and don't touch any part of your bare skin after handling the mussels. They can have an anemone on the outside and it has a very painful sting. These ones don't look too bad. Mussels can be extremely hard to break off. Twisting them helps. Cam's up to the task. The Weddy float boat is perfect for mussel gathering. Bags make it a lot harder and swimming with a loaded bag has its challenges. Remember, don't strip rocks bare. Your limit is 25 per diver. I think there's merit in leaving some. Don't just take from the same clump. Small mussels develop and grow alongside bigger established ones much better. Time to cook up a feed. Rob and Carl, our onboard chefs, are about to do something special. What do you got cooking here, Rob?
We've got Darren some fresh kahawai, fresh mussels, fresh away from the snappy of pork. What else could you want?
Perfect, eh? That's kahawai.
Kahawai.
What do you reckon, Cam?
It's good. Nice and fresh.
Fresh kahawai, eh? Just like that. Boiled in a bit of mussel juice.
Jazza, cheers, mate.
Thank you. Look at that. Don't need a fancy restaurant, do we, Rob?
Especially when you got the larder just here.
Yeah, right here.